evening, everybody. Very late, and as John Carr said, did the hot wall melt? I think it did, or at least something went wrong. As I start this, we're catching up. I'm very late. I've got a fan on the side. If it's too loud, I can't tell if it's picking up on the mic. Please say in chat if it's really loud. There is a lower setting I could try, but as many of you know, you don't need me to tell you it's a hot day here. Some parts of the UK reaching 40 degrees, which is pretty crazy. So please, if the fan is really loud, let me know in chat, and I will either turn it off or turn it down. But nonetheless, guys, sorry for the delay. We had some technical difficulties. I posted about it on Twitter. I don't know what was going on. I was getting an error message, but did a quick kind of log in and out of YouTube and a few bits. John Cutters can't hear the fan of my AC. Oh man, yeah, it's a hot day for many people. What better thing to do than to rate some hot shirts? As we get started, I will say the usual bits with a bit of news as well. So please, guys, if you're just tuning in, in fact, you know what? I've not shared the link to the stream. Let me do that on Twitter now. I just remembered. So give me 30 seconds. Oh, don't want to hear myself. Yeah, give me a short amount of time as I just come in. I'm gonna steal your line there, John Carr, and say the hot wall temporarily melted. But we're back on. Come and say hi. Post the link. Quick waving emoji. I will put a shot of the hot wall. Again, apologies, guys. I'm just sharing the link on Twitter as we speak. So I am just doing that. So hopefully bring in a few stragglers this evening. I don't think that's the latest picture, but that's okay. Get an emoji. And the link is on Twitter. So, back. Anyway, let's see what we're saying. Good to see you, Stevie. Good to see you. Gosh, just tell me about the fan. I've got two on. Indeed. Oh, man. Yeah, it's well, obviously, again, I don't want to go on about the heat, because everyone has been going on about the heat. But I have literally had the fan in front of me the whole day, and it's just been blasting in my face. It's been much needed. It's been the only thing keeping me from melting, indeed. Guys, some news as well. I've been, basically chatting a lot to Red Star this week, and it's really exciting. I'm seeing Capo have been sending over kind of their thoughts for the Red Star kit, and it's looking good. There was, those who are in my Patreon will have seen a few sneak peeks, which are just for the Patreon group. They're very much to be kept within that group. Nothing is to be shared outside of that. But in short, I'm really happy with the kit as it's looking. Obviously, I was wondering whether we'd lose a lot of the details because of the kit being made obviously to be worn on pitch, but it's looking good. So in short, that is game on. I'm excited to see that. Just to get more hype to that. Box's thoughts about Bale and Chiellini at LAFC. It's a fun combo. I think Bale as well. Well, I wasn't following Chiellini much last year. I don't know how he was performing, but obviously, it'll be fun if nothing else. Fun combo. There in the very Art Deco black and gold kit. Sorry, of LAFC. Anthony says, interesting where you went. The Leeds kit, if you haven't done so already. I don't think we've done the Leeds kit yet, Anthony. We will, I'm not sure if you've watched before, but as we'll do, we're going through chronologically. We may get to the Leeds kit today, if not, quite possibly on Thursday. I will certainly keep. I'm trying to. I don't think we've done the Leeds kit yet, but we're not too far behind. We're every week we're getting slowly slowly closer to being caught up. Andy, good to see you. Seb's his first time being able to catch a live stream in ages. True, Seb. I've not seen your name in a while, but it's good to have you here, mate. Busy season at work. Hope things are okay. Despite the busyness, Seb. And thank you about the Red Star kit. Thank you, mate. It's honestly, I've still not got over it. I was talking to some friends just yesterday, sharing the news, and yeah, it's I don't know how to even process it really. Middleman, good to see you. Now, guys, again, I'm a bit late, so we'll go a bit beyond 9 indeed tonight, and the plan is to do Hot Wall today, Hot Wall on Thursday. I think we should be able to go back to eBay next week, but we are still. It's so busy at the moment that we can't really afford to lose too many days. So, first things first. A quick plug as well. I will head over to our Patreon screen. Again, guys, this is just to talk about the Patreon. Many of you are either in it or know about it, but basically it's there. If you go to the link in the description, you'll get some more information. If you want to support me further, that is available there. Right. Excited for eBay, says van. Yeah, it's going to be good to be back on eBay. It won't be good for my wallet, but it will be good. And actually, the next video that I'll have on my channel, which I teased on Twitter, will be an unboxing of a vintage Portland Timbers shirt, which is really cool. And I've got a new setup. I've got a new camera setup, which looks a lot better, a bit more professional for unboxings. So that's going to be coming out. If not tomorrow, hopefully the day after. Hopefully, yeah, we're looking at Wednesday, Thursday for that. And if that goes well, yeah, we'll use that setup for future future unboxings. Right. As is typical, Photoshop is taking an age to load up. I should remember to do this before stream. It's obviously our document is so big. I think I'm going to need to do some sort of trickery to try and reduce the size of the file because the hot wall is breaking under pressure. Elijah with his customary yo as he enters chat. I could see Elijah just pulled the France home. Now, is that the France women's home, I assume? Great pickup if so. That kit is getting a lot of love, and rightly so. It is a very nice kit. Right, I think we're nearly in. Let me just try and get our screen set up here. It's still taking a while to load up. I do apologise, guys. As soon as we can get to the hot wall, we will. I think we're close, but it's just still loaded. John Costner's missed on eBay chats, but we're wanting the break. Not that I haven't been buying shirts. What have you been buying, Joker? What has everyone been buying? I'd love to hear. I'm always interested, as I mentioned in my what I'm buying video, which went out a few days ago. Or was it whenever it was that it went live. I get a kick out of hearing what people are buying, and I always find it interesting seeing what people in the community are buying. I think it's always worth keeping an eye on. Tiernan Hatchell flying in with the sub. Welcome to the channel, Tiernan. And if you're lurking, you're watching, maybe you've stumbled over from Twitter and you've not subscribed, make sure you do. But thank you, Tiernan. Really good to have you here. Now I think we're in, guys, so let me switch over to our scene, and we can see this is the hot wall. The much talked about hot wall. I won't spend any time talking about it. I think you guys know the drill by now. Hottest shirts on the right, the coolest, or coldest maybe. Coolest is quite positive, isn't it? The coldest in the negative sense. I know that can be used positively. That's confusing, but my favourite shirts on the right, least favourite shirts on the left. Now, let's just remind ourselves the last shirt we looked at last time, and I'm seeing, is that the Sunderland shirt? Yeah. So unless my layers might not be in the right order, to be honest. Again, I do apologise for the speed. This document, I think we're going to need to have some emergency work on this document because it is taking too long to load. I do apologise, guys. I think either I need a new PC, I guess that's the other alternative, And we had the Brombu shirt as well. So, okay, I think again, just trying to recall, or maybe we are still actually, yeah, we're still I'm just quickly checking to see. We've not done these kits, have we? Oh no, we did do the. See, I'm honestly forgetting. We did do. I'm pretty sure we did these kits. And we did the bucket. Yeah. Okay. We're. Oh gosh, there's been so many kits. Here we go. Now I think. Am I right in saying we ended on the? Did we end in Argentina and Mexico? I want to say we did. Yes, because there's the Argentina. So that means again, I'm looking at my layers. Yeah, Argentina and Mexico. So I think the last shirt was Argentina, guys. I'm pretty sure. I should really remember to have named the layer. But nonetheless, let's pick up from Argentina. I'm pretty sure that's where we left off. Just as we do as well, catching up with chat. Middleman says, I recently bought last season's AC Milan away, end of season sale, and the Italian national team away jersey. Couple of nice pickups together, Middleman, in the end of season sales. John Carr says this week 2 Seacoast United and a Boston Breakers defunct women's team. Very nice. And he says, still think you need to designate the bottom right corner in Volcano for the absolute first corner best of the best. I like that, Andy. I think in many ways, I talked before, I do want to maybe review the wall, and I think we could have something like that. I would like that. And I'd like to do a bit of a reordering, because I think there's some shirts which I like a bit more now in hindsight, and conversely, the ones I'd like to bump down. Mornay, good to see you. It's been such a while. He says, since I've caught you on live. Indeed. Right, enough talk. I'm already late. Let's go to QPR. Now, it's nice to get the home and away here in tandem. If we start with the home, I like the look of this a lot. Araya have been doing a lot of good stuff across the leagues. I really like the fact that they've literally just got 2 colours. This is something which I find myself more and more drawn to, is when the shirt is confident enough, if I can put it that way, to just have 2 colours and to basically roll with it. They don't have a third colour to muddy the waters. Apologies as I blow my nose. I don't think I'm unwell as I was last week, but we'll see how we go. I like the look of this a lot, honestly. I think that the piping on the sleeves feels a little bit kind of retro. You think of a lot of kits in the noughties, that was kind of a big thing, or the late 90s. I like this a lot. I honestly think, as I look at this, I think I could even consider this for the hot tier, for the flames tier. And this isn't necessarily, I don't think, a shirt which would impress people, but it impresses me. Even the detail of having the hoops kind of outlined with the pinstripes there, I think this is really good. The collar is kind of so-so, but it's not a bad collar in my book. So honestly, I'm going to sneak this one into the flames tier. It is of course very warm, so maybe that's influencing my decision making. But honestly, I think this is good. The away, as we'll see very shortly, got a lot of love as well. I'm happy to put this one here though. I'm sneak it in the gap. And if we come to the away now, it's a very similar style. We don't have the pinstripes here, but the colourway is a lovely burgundy and navy combo with the gold. So similar to the home, complementary in terms of style. But I do really like that colour combo. I mean, this one had a lot of people talking on social media. I think this is even better. So that, QPR, 1-2 punch there. Now, is this even Volcano tier territory? I don't think it is. I don't know, mate. I think I want to settle on my gut rating would be a higher Flames tier. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the chat. Seb says the away is so much nicer. I think, honestly, Seb, I think that was the consensus amongst the community. That's the kind of vibe I was getting. Cole says can't be a solid QPR shirt. Classy look. Yeah, this is a really good home and away combo for QPR. I mean, if I was a QPR fan, I'd be very happy. I know yeah, I know Raya have been getting a lot of attention, and I think it's because of shirts like this. I think they're really good there, and unlike a lot of brands, you're not seeing kind of sometimes something like a clumsy collar can really undo some of the good work of a shirt like this. That collar, it's complete. It's not a strength of the kit, but it doesn't take away too much. I really like this. I really like that combo. I think honestly, there's an argument that this could push even higher, but I'm going to stick it there. It's maybe lacking the wow factor, even though the colours are strong. Good start for QPR. Rob says that QPR is nice, shades of Newcastle away. Exactly, Rob. And I think I'm right in saying the club have had a similar shirt, but I might be wrong. I might be completely misremembering that. But it well, you know what? Very quickly, let's go to old football shirts. I want to see, because otherwise it's going to be bugging me all evening. And they've had, okay, red and black. Okay, so they had a very different kit, but a burgundy kit in 2016. That's a goalkeeper kit. Yeah, I think maybe they haven't, but I might. Yeah. Again, apologies there. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue with Fiorentina now. Obviously, having undergone the rebrand recently, it was quite possible we were going to see that feature in some way on the design. I don't think I expected it to be quite so much of a focal point. This really, to me, felt like literally highlighting the new brand as much as possible. And honestly, I don't think it paid off. I don't think these are particularly attractive designs. I mean, the away has more about it. If we start with the home, I'm not big on the kind of emanating diamonds, if we can call it that. It draws attention to the crest. If your goal is to create a shirt where you're basically highlighting the new crest, they've done that, but I don't think the end result is that attractive. I think honestly, this design, it might sound funny, but it's almost a bit too purple. I think I feel like some white in places would help, or maybe it's just the pattern as well. This kind of I don't know. I don't think it feels a bit cheap to me, to be honest, for a team like Fiorentina, a club like Fiorentina and Kappa as well. I think they're not playing to their strengths here. I think typically a lot of their best shirts, I think, can be a bit more intricate, and it's that kind of clean look without being classic, if I can call it that. Whereas I think this, you're starting on the road of something a bit more progressive and modern, but you've not really realised that. Honestly, I think I actually have to put this in the Ice Cube tier, because I think it is pretty bad. Which is sad to say. A lot of love for Fiorentina. Maybe I'm just bitter because I didn't win the third shirt competition, but that's where I'd put that. John Carl says I like it, but it isn't flames. I don't know if that's in relation to QPR or Fiorentina, but nonetheless, we come to the away. It's interesting. Again, it feels very much like it's drawn attention to the crest with the kind of double V, almost, well, the chevron as you see it, which is a V in the crest. It feels like that has been drawn out, or it has been drawn out for that design. I think immediately I like this one more. I think having a bit more of a balance between the colours feels a bit nicer. I really would struggle to put it much higher than the candle tier, though. I don't think. Maybe it's just me, but I'm not sure about even just the way the V begins from the kind of the armpit there, if you like. Something about that feels a bit clumsy, but maybe it actually is better than if it had just started from the side. But regardless, I just don't think it looks like a very notable design. I mean, I do think this one's much better than the home, and again, I think the balance of the colours goes a long way to helping that. And I put this, middle of the candle tier, perhaps. But I don't think it's a very strong look. And sometimes it's nice to have something a bit different. But I think there's probably a reason we've not seen a design like this much for Fiorentina before. It just doesn't honestly, like, if it was any other team, it would potentially look even worse not having that purple. The purple does a lot here, but it's not enough to save it. A bit of rugby league, of course, with that kind of look as well. Just not very good in my eyes. Rob says Chevron on the sponsor looks strange. Yeah, I think that's kind of my thinking as well, Rob. Obviously a bit unusual to see that placement. And I saying the Fiorentina way is one of those shirts that in game will look so much better. I think that's fair. Seb saying there's something off about the Chevron. Yeah, I thought the same, Seb. Now we come to Colombia. This shirt is very interesting to me for a couple of reasons. We talked about the Argentina and Mexico shirts, so this is following on from that conversation. But I think just seeing this shirt, really, this design brings the question: how much is Adidas's latest technology and construction able to stand out? Because this is essentially a plain shirt. Obviously you get to see the latest heat ready texture there, which looks pretty nice. Sorry, it looks pretty nice in the close-ups. Obviously it'll be good to feel it and see it in person. It's hard to get too excited about this one. Again, I'm mostly excited to see the latest Adidas tech in person, to get a feel for it. We could talk about, I don't want to go over old grounds, but we talk about the Adidas logo. I'm not sure about that. I do think the 3-stripe application seems to be a bit more tactile. It looks to be, rather than just sublimated or just a heat press, it looks like they're possibly raised, which is nice to see. Honestly, I think it's a little bit underwhelming. And this is international home shirts are often like this. I can't get too excited about this one. There is it looks like a bit of a pattern in the red section, which is interesting. It's very subtle, but you can see that there just about, and it's also there, so that's interesting. Honestly, I think this one, I'm going to stick it in the can tier. I think the Argentina Mexico one just had a little bit more to them. There's a detail on the back neck, but you know what? This is okay though. I think it's more just safe than anything else. But if Adidas's player issue tech, comes out well, if people are enjoying that, the feel of it, the weight of it, the look of it, then of course even a plain shirt can have something about it. And that's the thing, guys. Shirts don't have to be crazy with patterns to be good. But as this one is, I will stick it down here in the middle of the pack. Let's continue with Chile. So another Adidas kit, a bit of a theme here as we come to Chile. Immediate thought is we've got a similar story to Colombia. But notable that this only comes, or has only been shown anyway in these pictures, in the area ready, in the what you'd call the replica. So whether that's just a case that they've not got the heat ready for the promo shots here, I don't know. We won't judge them too harshly for that. A very interesting pattern on the side, and the you can see the it looks like the side and the inside hem there, or the bottom of the shirt. Quite nice. That kind of thing adds interest to the shirt, which is otherwise very standard. I think it's hard to rate this much different to the Colombia one. Obviously, again, not seeing it in heat ready, we're not seeing the shirt in its full kind of potential there. So I think if I just if I get it on the wall and let's have a think. Honestly, I wouldn't. I like this pattern, and I think if you saw a little bit more of that, this would go up a bit higher. As is, I think this is maybe slightly above the Colombia, because I think the pattern actually does add something to it, but it's almost a bit held back. But again, international home shirt, this is a classic kind of story. It's not unique to Chile by any means. If Colombia's there, we'll stick Chile We'll sneak them in there next to, is that Liechtenstein? Man, this wall is getting so busy it's hard to keep up with who is who on this wall. That's Chile there. Next up, as we continue, I'm just going to make sure I've got the latest information on the chart. There we go. That's better. I do want to apologise as I blow my nose again. Let's come to Cardiff. Now, New Balance have had a lot of buzz, or at least I've been praising them quite a bit for a lot of their work. And I must say, I think they're having a good year. Across the board, I think they're having a good year. This particular shirt, I think this is close to greatness, or at least I love everything but the collar here. I don't really like this style of collar. We saw this for, and I can't think of the teams. The teams escape me off the top of my head, but I'm sure, and maybe it was, I think it was New Balance, but please correct me if I'm wrong. We did, from memory, we saw this style of collar on a few teams last season, like a deep V, like a kind of extra large, extra deep V. I don't think it really works. I mean, in a sense, you know, you could argue that if it was just a much more simple collar, it would lack a bit of character. It does have it. It does give it a bit of distinction. But that pattern in the body is great. I really do like those bluebirds there. That's kind of like what I like to see in a home shirt. Again, this is what the Chile and Colombia shirts were kind of missing. I think I would rate this above that. I think this is in the kind of higher candle tier, pushing the Flames tier, to be honest. Fairly inoffensive sponsor. Yeah, I think this is good. I mean, to be honest, I think you could argue for this in the Flames tier. I'd probably stick it in the high candle. I think this is good. I think this is like typical New Balance in 2022. I think New Balance have been doing a lot of good things. Pretty much, no brand is perfect, but I do think they're putting their best foot forward. I think that's kind of all you can ask really from a brand. And I've not done, and I don't think it would be practical to do a kind of full brand rankings or what have you, but I'm pretty sure New Balance are going to come up pretty favourably compared to some others on this list. So that's the kind of City shirt. I like it quite a lot. Seb says, always been a big fan of the fit of New Balance shirts. Yeah, that's true actually. The fit and the feel of them, they're typically pretty good. Yeah, I hear you there, Seb, and I think that's often, obviously, I'm not really judging that in this rankings, and it's hard to judge that sometimes. But that's definitely a thing. Come to Racing Club. I'm not sure how they say it over in Argentina. But their third shirt, I'm not a big fan of this collar. This neckline, it feels very cheap. Honestly, that really lets down the shirt. The shirt, I quite like the look of this detail on the bottom. That looks pretty smart. Otherwise, the pattern, it's fine. It's. I feel like it could be a lot more exciting. When you're already trying a fairly kind of interesting geometric design, I feel like, yeah, it's not really exciting me. But really, the biggest thing is that neckline. That holds it back for me. I don't really like that kind of style. I like it even less than the Cardiff one, and I was a bit low on the Cardiff one. So I think probably lower candle tier for me. That's the kind of positioning I'm thinking. Largely because of the neckline, but also just, I think as a third shirt again, I'll be wanting a bit more. Also, this is something which wrestling have done before, that they've used kind of their home colours for third shirt, and I can't think of the year, but they've done that in other years. Again, because they usually play in light blue stripes with a white base. So this is the third shirt. It's kind of, I'm not the biggest fan of these kind of third shirts, where you essentially got the same colours, just used differently. Yes, you could argue that this could maybe work for a team that would play in light blue, whereas the home wouldn't, but there's that anyway. Yeah, not the biggest fan of them. Now we come to Real Oviedo. This is an interesting Adidas shirt. Obviously, Adidas, outside of the big teams, tend to be quite pedestrian. This particular design, I don't think it's bespoke to the team. I think it is one of their template designs. It's hard not to think of hard not to think of Hummel, isn't it, with those those chevrons there. So there is that, and a very interesting vertical sponsor there. Not something you see every day. I think honestly the novelty factor kind of works for me, but I can understand that would not impress a lot of people. I quite like the pattern though. Honestly, I actually think this is pretty good. And I think again, I'm pretty sure I can't think of which team, but I'm sure other teams have this design. I would definitely rate this amongst some of the one of the better Adidas template designs you've seen. I'm going to say template because I think it is a catalogue pattern, if you like. It's not bespoke to the team, but I think it's pretty good. I mean, it works, I think, in this colourway. This is their away shirt. We'll come to the home in a bit, but the away, I think it looks good. I mean, again, that sponsor won't be for everyone, but I actually think this can sneak into the hot tier. I do think, again, despite the fact I don't think the pattern is bespoke. Obviously, if we knew this was bespoke, if I'm wrong in saying it's not bespoke, that automatically nudges it a bit higher. But I think even if it isn't, this one isn't bad at all. I think certainly, in some colours this wouldn't work as well. I think it looks good. I think it's quite attractive. Maybe it's the Hummel in me, the Hummel fan in me, seeing the the chevrons there and kind of having that association, perhaps. Get my first yawn out of the way. About 20 minutes into the stream. John Carl says, I don't mind the collar. I think that's a reference to the Racing shirt, I believe. It doesn't show the throat like other styles. That's fair. That is fair, mate. Now we come to the Real Oviedo home shirt. Honestly, not as big on this particular pattern. It's fine, but I don't think this sort of design, I don't know, it feels like a kind of low budget kind of keeper top maybe, or certainly doesn't have the excitement of the away pattern, I think. It's fine, but I think honestly for me it's the away 9 times out of 10. If you really want the home shirt, you could pick it up, obviously, but I don't think it really competes. And also in this home design, when you see that sponsor, it stands out a little bit more. Whereas on the away, it kind of does get almost hidden by the pattern, which I think helps. So this one, it's completely fine, but it's not going to challenge anything in the higher tiers. I would stick it personally in the Ice Cube tier. Now we come to Sassuolo. We could talk a lot about Puma. Obviously, they've had a lot of stick from people for various reasons. I think that they're on the back foot when it comes to the community or the collecting community. A lot of people are, basically expecting Puma or wanting them to step up in the eyes of collectors, and many people are kind of not enjoying their work. I'm also not particularly enjoying a lot of their kits so far, and I put AC Milan's home shirt all the way down here, but I must say the Sassuolo one is, it looks a lot better than the AC Milan one. I think it's hard to pinpoint exactly why. I would say probably the first thing is that the stripes, unlike the AC Milan shirt, I think the stripe placement feels, the fact it's I haven't counted, but I think it is going further along to the sides. There's more stripes. It's less kind of in a restricted block. Yes, the way it cuts off, it's not the best looking shirt. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like the crest and the Puma cat there are quite far apart. And in this example, I'm not sure about the simple crew neck. Some shirts that does work. Maybe the top part of that shirt is a little bit too basic, but despite that, I think the overall effect is much better than the AC Milan shirt. So at the very least, I would definitely rate it above that. I think it looks pretty smart. Obviously, Sassuolo are blessed with a strong colourway. I think green and black is always going to be, I think, quite an interesting combo. But I must say, even though I like it more than the AC Milan shirt, I still can't really rate it much higher than the counter tier. I think probably the middle of the counter tier. I'm not too low on it, but yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think shout out's a good point. Saying will they be able to wear it in Serie A because of the new non-green kits rule? I believe that's only come into effect next season, but I might be wrong. Obviously, if that is in effect, this is a big problem. Seb says, that's a nice Puma shirt. Honestly, a lot of people were very high on this. I do think this is good, but and that's the thing. Shirts that are above the middle of this tier, I'd say, I kind of draw the average line, if you like, somewhere around the middle of this tier. So I think this is just about above average. I'm not as high in it though. I don't know. Maybe I need to see it on the pitch. We've seen a lot of lifestyle shots here, which don't always help sell a shirt. Yeah, honestly, I think this on pitch, this could really go up in my estimations for sure. Hey guys, I'm going to go a quick drink. I will head to the pour scene. Be right back. Back. Got myself a cold can of Coke from the fridge. Let's go and return to the hot ball. Yeah, so the Sassuolo kit. I don't know. I do think this one will look a lot better on pitch. Be interested to see more of that one. Feyenoord's third shirt. Now this one from Adidas. Honestly, this base style, which has been used on a lot of Adidas kits, I kind of like. Various teams have used it. I do like the kind of underarm panels that come through there, and I kind of like this color combo as well. Obviously, a lot has been said about black and gold kits, so it's nice to see a color that isn't just black and gold. And black, this is a combo of two of the most popular colors: black, pink. Those kits typically, especially black, but I think pink to a lesser extent. Could be really popular. So this one, I think, is actually quite smart. It's very style-wise, it's very simple, but I do like. Sorry, guys, the colours, and I'm also, I think, the key here. I think the vibrancy of the pink helps a lot. Where a softer pink, I don't think you'd have as much impact. It would still have something about it. You'd have a bit of a Palermo vibe, I guess. But I think the hot pink looks good here. I'm happy to put this one. Just above the Sassuolo there that we just ranked. Continue with Wolves away shirt. Now again, these shirts, guys, they've been out for over a week now, so we are playing catch up. I reckon by tonight we can definitely do a couple more pages. We'll be getting there. And then by Thursday, I reckon we should be caught up with the latest shirts. Now this one, right. So Castor, I've been pretty low on them in general, and kind of vocal in my my frustrations, I guess you could say. I do quite like the look of this one. Now the pattern itself seems to be just sublimated, and I must say that's a shame. It's understandable. But imagine if that was actually embossed, or even stitched. Well, stitched in would be impractical, but something like an embossed or a jacquard, that would look really smart. I think just from a quality perspective. But the overall effect is still good. Don't get me wrong. I do actually think this is pretty decent. Yeah, I mean, the thing which is stopping this being in the higher tiers is the sponsors. That sleeve sponsor particularly looks, I mean, I guess that's on the render, to be fair, so it won't be that big in reality. You can see here, but it's still pretty big. It's ugly. The red clashes, as does the Astro Pay. So I think sorry guys, that Coke has not gone down well, it seems. I'll take another swig. Fight fire with fire. Yeah, so the sponsors really let us one down, and I think again, sublimated designs, they make sense, but I think honestly, when you see the kind of level of quality, and I know this is a lot to ask for a brand who isn't Adidas or Nike, but at the end of the day, Wolves in the Premier League, so they should be getting good kits. I do think it lacks the quality of the top designs, but I think this one is going to go probably kind of mid to high candle. That and that's, again, for me to put a Castor shirt here says something. Other things that I don't want to be too down, but the Castor slogan, I don't like it. I think it looks cheap, and the fact it's on every shirt, yeah. But anyway, that's Wolves away. Yeah, the color, I do like the color combo though, which I think is based on an old shirt as well. Cole says I'll take Astro Pay over Manbit. That's fair. That's fair, Cole. Now, honestly, I do think it's actually solid. It is solid. I know I ranked it kind of mid candle, but again, most Castor shirts don't get. I mean, you can see Newcastle's lower there. There's other ones which are lower, so that isn't too bad, probably in the grand scheme of things. Cole also says, I like it. We've used teal before and it always goes down well, so we probably pick this one up. Yeah, it is good. I would, if I was a Wolves fan, I'd definitely consider picking that one up. And Seb, I agree here as well, Seb. It's nice to see the Middle East trying something. A lot of their kits have been very boring. Absolutely. Can't argue with you guys there. Now, Peterborough. This is a really fun photo shoot. Look at that. That's a great shot. With the dog there. Trying to get a look at this pattern. I must say, Puma have been kind of sneakily good for some of the lower league English sides. So kind of some of the Championship, League 1, League 2 sides. They've been kind of sneakily good. And I think for teams at this level, with all due respect to the likes of Peterborough, this is actually good. I mean, this isn't as good as Blackpool's, and I really like Blackpool's. You can see that all the way up here. And this is kind of basically, I think, some of Puma's best shirts are outside the big leagues. That's the thing. This to me and the Blackpool shirt, I'd take them over your AC Milans and your Sassuolos. I think this is really good. The sponsor isn't great, but I like it. I think it's honestly an above average shirt, and I do think, though it's not nearly as good as the Blackpool shirt, this is definitely, again, in my eyes, above something like a Sassuolo. I've just realised I need to change that. There we go. So I'm happy to put this one in the higher candle, and again, the pattern, though I think it's well executed, isn't the most exciting. I think you could it feels a little bit, I mean, I don't know if there's a story there. It feels a bit kind of just random generic pattern. but it's good. Like, and again, when you think about the level of the team, this is it League Two, Peterborough? But this is, in my eyes, a better shirt than many clubs in the higher divisions. So it's a good home shirt. And I think I'd rate it below the Cardiff one. I do think the embossed bluebirds there looked a lot stronger. I'm happy to slot it in here though, next to Rangers there. So that was another Castore shirt actually, which I quite liked, to be fair, to Castore. Sorry guys. Seb says, feels like a 90s SPL shirt. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of that. We continue. And guys, as we continue, I do want to give a shout out again to subscribe if you're new, if you're just tuning in, if you're curious about what's going on. Sorry, I don't know what has got into my throat today. I guess it probably is the can of Coke. Don't drink Coke, guys. Hopefully that tea would have helped. Anyway, enough about what I'm drinking. FC 2020 Twente. I'm not sure how best to pronounce the name. I guess it would be Twente. Nonetheless, with Maber, of course, I must say, though I'm happy to see Maber back, I don't know, I think it's honestly the quality. The shirts are very shiny. It's being picky, but the shirts basically look quite cheap to me, and I think that's been the case. I might be wrong, but since Maber came back, in the modern game. So that's one thing. If we try and look at the design, I honestly don't think that combo's working for me. The kind of dark teal and the blue or the navy. I don't think it's a good colourway, honestly. It feels kind of very training wear. And I guess this design anyway, with the raglan sleeves, these sorts of constructions can often feel a bit training wear. Honestly, this one is pretty forgettable. And, I love, maybe I've got a long history. Yeah, it's good to see their brand marks all the way down in the taping there on the sleeves. So that's positive. I also don't like to me as well, having the same sponsor on the front, shoulder or collarbone and back is overkill as well. So I think this has to go in the ice cube tier, which is, it seems harsh, but it's one of those, the more I'm looking at it, the less I'm liking it, and that's not a good sign. I'm quite picky sometimes, but I mean, we have to be when there's thousands of shirts on this wall. So that honestly isn't really doing much for me, I must say. As the wall continues to break, I do need to think of a solution here. Probably need to find a way to reduce the size of all these images en masse, but anyway, we'll cross that bridge at some point, guys. Honestly, I have to kind of stick this one down here. I don't think it's particularly good. Good evening, Thomas. Good evening. Good to see you, mate. But now we come to Stuttgart. Now, obviously, I was talking about it just today on Twitter. This immediately recalls one of the late 90s designs that Stuttgart had, and indeed, many shirts this year, many brands seem to be completely borrowing the work, or taking inspiration, heavy inspiration, from the work of other brands. And retro inspired designs are nothing new, but it seems that this year, more than ever, I should say, brands are basically just piggybacking off other brands. It seems like it's become fair game, and for whatever reason, I don't know, but this year definitely seems to be the case more than previously. I must say though, I really think Jako have nailed this. I love of course, again, if you go and look, I think is it the 1998 or 97, you can go and check that out if you want to. This shirt though, like the fact the hoops go on the back, the fact they've got a subliminal pattern as the original did, that crest application, this is the kind of quality you want to see, guys. And this isn't from an Adidas or a Nike, this is from Jako, but look at that. Bit of depth, Love to see that. Honestly, the one thing which I don't like about this shirt, or the biggest thing, is just Jako's brand mark. I always think it looks a bit naff, but that's that's beside the point. And the sponsor, it's kind of novel seeing that, but it's not the best sponsor. But honestly, this is really good. I think they've absolutely, if anything, you could argue they've even improved on the Adidas design. That's maybe a bit of sacrilege to say, but I think this is volcano. I think this is a really, like, this to me, and because Stuttgart haven't regularly done this. I know, of course, they've done it before, but it's quite special to bring it back. Yes, it is, unashamedly based on the old kit. Maybe it's not the most original, but I do think that they've absolutely smashed what they were trying to do. In short, so why? Yes, sorry, as I'm just trying to resize. This is great. Honestly, this is one of my favourite shirts released so far this year. I think it looks good. I think this kind of hoop design. Again, like the fact it goes on the back. These are important things. If it didn't do that, I don't think I'd put it in the volcano tier. Equally, if we saw just a fully sublimated crest, again that would hurt it. But this. Like the only reason I wouldn't bump it even higher, I think you could argue that it is just a rip-off of the old design, but if you're going to rip off a shirt, why not rip off a very good one? Catching up with the comments, Thomas says, Waller's looking forward after missed a few episodes. Yeah, we had a few big episodes, we were trying to catch up. It continues to grow, mate, and we're maybe halfway, we're probably halfway, I guess, with the kits. No, we might not even be, to be honest. There's many more to come. Arnie says Stuttgart's Volcano, great recreation of 90s classic. The sponsor looks superb. I concur. Thomas says I really liked that special Stuttgart last season. That was also good. Cole says, love this. Isn't there a pattern within the material? Probably get too many Dennis the Menace comments. Yeah. Hey, I called it as well on Twitter, the Dennis the Menace shirt. Hey, I like that. And yes, the ones you've missed, Thomas. I really rated Barca's. That's there. I don't know if you were here for Hearts. That was also one I really like. Bromby. There. Norwich. Yeah, there's been a few. I think, honestly, in hindsight, guys, there's a couple I'd want to bump down. I think City's probably the Universitario shirt as well. Maybe Stoke and Finland. There's a few which I think could come out, and a few I'd maybe bring up. From this side of the wall, but we'll come to that in a bit. We'll do a bit of a review, as I promised. Now, Cologne or Köln. I don't know how you say that in German. Again, I really am struggling with pronunciation most of the time. A very understated away shirt. I'm honestly not too excited by it. Shadow Stripes is a good look. And it feels like this is very typical first year of a new deal. I've said before, there is often what you see when a brand takes over is their shirts in the first year are just a bit more understated. That typically your turnaround times are a bit shorter. That's not always the case, but it's it didn't surprise me when you see a brand come in, and Hummel have just come into Cologne, and they've played it pretty safe here. It's quite. There were comments, I know, obviously with them playing in white and red, having a red away kit. There's that kind of argument again that it's not needed as much, but I think this one. If I've just lost it, where did we go? This one. Even though it is very simple, I think as a base style, I'll stick it in the Ice Cube tier. In the high Ice Cube tier, it's just run of the mill. The Shadow Stripes are good, and that without those, I think you'd be looking at something a bit lower. As is, I think it feels like a good fit nearby in there. Maybe even I think it's almost on the border. I'll put it on the border. We've not had many kits on the border, but I think I'll stick it there. Between the Ice Cube and the Candle tier. Thomas says, love the Norwich kits this season, glad the home is there. It is great. It is really good. Blackburn Rovers away. Now, a couple of things on this. Firstly, the look of that pattern is absolutely brilliant. This is what I want to see from a pattern. Looks, I might be wrong, but it looks to be either embossed or a jacquard. If it is, that is absolutely superb. Macron have done that sort of thing before. Oh boy, that sponsor though. It is a terrible sponsor logo. It just looks naff. Obviously it has, in a sense, it has visual impact. I don't know much about the brand, but clearly they're trying to go for a bit of an edgy look. But I mean, there's been jokes made about it looking like a ransom note. I think that I can understand that, honestly. I think that really does let down the shirt. It's quite a classy shirt. I really do rate that pattern. You could say it's a bit tacky with the repeating crest, but I think the execution looks good. Again, I might be wrong, but I think it is. I mean, even if it is sublimated, it looks pretty smart. But that sponsor, guys, one of the worst we've seen this year, I think it's fair to say. No, we don't want to copy that. Oh, we're having some problems here. We'll just try and save the image. Yes, I think, honestly, that one is... that sponsor is really holding this one back. I think though the rest of the shirt is strong enough that I would actually consider it in the camel tier. With a better sponsor, I think you could easily talk about this in the Flames tier. I think pretty much with a better sponsor, that automatically I think would bump this up to the Flames tier. But I can't consider this a hot shirt with that sponsor. It really does. It clashes so badly, and especially because the shirt is quite classy, and I much prefer it to the home. I can't remember if we've ranked the home yet. I have a feeling we did, and I'm looking down here because I feel like we rated it down here, but maybe we didn't. But regardless, such a shame. I think I'm still going to put it here. I'm not going to rate it too much lower, but yeah, Seb saying, am I mistaken? It was totally wicked a vape brand. If so, how is that even allowed? Over beer. Yeah, that's interesting. I think you might be right. I honestly don't know much about Totally Wicked, but I think that does ring a bell. Honestly, yeah, it's just a bit naff from an aesthetic point of view, let alone the other concerns, or the confusing message anyway, where you do have other brands, other types of businesses, that are restricted. And he says, saw the Blackburn third. I think to say white shirt and the sponsor looks terrible on there. It's really let down this away shirt as well. Indeed. Let's continue. I think we'll maybe do this page. Let's just quickly check the next page. We've got some big hitters to come. Yeah, I think let's finish with this page. We've got the likes of Liverpool and Inter to come. We'll come to Crystal Palace next though, and this one got a lot of talk on social media. I think the biggest comparison which people made, a lot of people compared it to the Hadjic split shirt from the season prior, and it is very similar to that, but honestly I don't think that takes away from this design. I think even though yes, it looks very similar aesthetically to that Hadjic split shirt, it wasn't a widely used pattern. I think that's the key. In some ways, guys, when you see those kind of little links, I actually sometimes kind of almost see that as a positive, or at least there's kind of a fun kind of synergy there. The kind of twinned by design whole conversation. I think this is good. I actually do think Macron have kind of got the balance right. Striped shirts are so hard to do. It's so hard for a team in stripes to innovate year on year and not end up looking just a bit terrible. And you can look at the likes of Barca and Juve have kind of got it more wrong than right over recent years, but this I think is right. And the key things, guys, pattern on the back. We say it all the time, this is key. This takes the shirt from decent, interesting to good in my eyes. sponsor, the cinch sponsor. There's kind of a novelty to all these cinch and kazoo sponsors. Say what you want about them, but they're, I think they're an improvement on a lot of what we've seen. Compared to Totally Wicked, I think it's night and day. And I think this is, the collar and cuff combo. It's a popular combo, that kind of style. I kind of like the slightly kind of, it's not really raised, but I think, it's got something about it. I think this is good. I think this is easily Flames tier territory. I think this is kind of middle Flames tier. Sorry, guys. But I don't think I enjoy the pattern as much as some other patterns that are a bit higher in the Flames tier. But I do commend Palace and Macron for managing to create a striped kit, a striped home kit, which is daring or quite bold, but actually works. And again, yes, it looks like the Magic Split shirt, but I don't think that's a bad thing. If we saw this style, this kind of scribble style for several teams, yeah, it would get old more quickly. But this is good. This is really good for Macron and Palace. I think this is going to be one of the better home shirts of the Premier League next season. I think it's great. And he says Palace stripes on the back. Indeed, that's so important. It really does make a difference. Cole concurs. This is good. This is one of the big things here in this community. I'm glad we've got, shared appreciation for these things. I mean, it's not just obviously here. I think anyone who's a collector sees the benefit of that. John Costa says, I like the Palace shirt, but there's something about it that's a bit uncomfortable about the design. I don't know why. Okay. Inter. Now, obviously, the first thing people go to when they're talking about Nike shirts this year is the construction, the paneling. I think of all the shirts, this Inter one suits that the most. You've got very much a Total 90 vibe, and it feels like it was made for this template. I actually think, again, it doesn't work on a lot of shirts for Nike this year, but this one honestly looks good. Now, the thing that jumps out to me is the placement of the Coppa Italia winners patch. I don't know why it's not in the middle. It feels like it's just about managing to squeeze under there. And you could argue that there's a kind of issue with the colour matching here of this front panel, which doesn't quite match. It's better on some other pictures. Honestly, the biggest thing as well, I really wanted to see a slightly higher neck. I know the neck is kind of almost a bit high anyway, but on some of the early leaks that we saw, I was excited because I thought we were going to get a slightly higher neck, which to me, maybe not the most comfortable. We talked about shirts being comfortable, but the more I look at this, I actually think this is sneakily very, very good. Again, I think it's one of the few Nike shirts which feels like it was made for the template, because it does evoke those the Adriano era Inter shirts. And I mean, we're getting some nice shots here with the Dry Fit ADV, which looks good. But this and the more, like, when I first saw it, I was kind of, the patch kind of bugged me, as did the color. Like, you'd like to see the blacker, the stripes a bit blacker basically, but I mean, it looks better on some of the shots. But I do think, I mean, actually, I said I wanted a higher neck. The neck does actually look a bit higher there, doesn't it? No, this is good. I think this is a very good Inter shirt. I mean, I'm a bit of a slave to Total 90 influences. Guys, I'm putting this in the Volcano tier. I really rate this as an Inter home shirt. We talked about how difficult it is to get striped shirts right, but for me, bar the patch, and I think, with slightly blacker stripes, if I can put it like that. And I personally would have liked a slightly higher neck, but I think this is a really good design, particularly because of the kind of Adriano vibes. And it's a hard thing to quantify. Why does it remind me of that? I guess it is the kind of the curved nature of the top and the kind of panel, the way this chest panel here. There's definitely shades of it for me. I think this looks really good. And to me, again, I've kind of got a fondness for Inter. I know I don't love the crest rebrand. Don't get me wrong; it's not been an improvement, but I really do think this is one of the better Nike shirts we've seen. Would I put it as high as the Barca one? Probably not. I don't think I like it quite that much, but I'd put it close behind. I'm going to stick it here. And to be fair, we've got a few Nike shirts here. I am quite a Nike fanboy, I must say, but this is good. Stick that in the middle, and again, I would prefer the old crest. Maybe a slightly better sponsor. That's a great shirt. I think that as a home shirt ticks a lot of boxes. Obviously, straps on the back I should have mentioned, but that goes without saying. It would be I think most of the shirts don't. Oh, some of them have plain backs, but most of the shirts in the Volcano tier don't have a plain back. Good to see your comments here, Chambo. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name, mate. But he says the only thing wrong is the patch. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing, mate. Seb said the top half gives you real train top vibes. I think a lot of people said similar, Seb, and have said similar with the pattern. I think, again, bar the kind of the colour matching issue. Yeah, it could be better, but I do think it's good. I like it. Honestly, I want to see the shirt in person. I think it looks good. And he says collar panel looks like it's elasticated. It kind of does, doesn't it? It kind of does. Cole says hated the leak of the shirt because of the template, but won over by that neckline, very similar to the early notice kits. Indeed. And John Carl says Inter this Nike template has a 2006 Adidas filter but updated. Yeah, I can see that. The curved nature of that panel, again, I mentioned Total 90, but yeah, Adidas were definitely similar in that period. Now, we're going to finish on a Nike streak here. We've got Liverpool, Glentoran, and 1816 Munich. If we come to Liverpool now, many of you know I'm a Liverpool fan, and this shirt, I'm going to say now, it's another one I really like. Now, unfortunately, there is a blank panel on the back, and I believe there's a terrible excuse given as well for why it was black. Yeah, this is silly. This honestly grinds my gears. On the reverse is a block of white to emphasise the individuality of each player's name and number. That's the worst bit of marketing copy we've seen this year. And Liverpool have a history of terrible just marketing BS basically. So that honestly annoys me reading that. That's just stupid. But anyway, looking at the design, it's a crazy design. It really does show the kind of era we're in, that an away shirt from a major team basically is just completely fair game. I mean, obviously we've even had home shirts which have just been completely crazy. This away shirt here, there's no historical connection. It is just basically a crazy hypnotic pattern. Now I think I was honestly considering this for the Volcano tier, but I don't think I like it as much as the Inter or the Barca kit. It's really fun to see, but I think this isn't the Nike construction here, or the paneling doesn't do it for me as much as the Inter. Actually, quite, even though there was the kind of the black issue, I think that one looks a bit smarter than this, which feels a lot more like kind of some of the New Balance kits that we saw from New Balance in the last few years. So the pattern, it's bold, it's interesting, and I'd love to see this one in person. It's probably one I will pick up in the end of season sales, and I think I will stick it in the Flames tier because again, if we're going on aesthetics, I think this one is interesting. Maybe the pattern could be more vibrant, but I like it. But it's probably kind of mid Flames tier for me. I do think the back, to me, it's an unnecessary negative. Although I haven't, one thing I will say is we're not getting a proper look at the driver ADV on some of these retail shots. That always helps when you get to see it in its full effect there. And one thing I do like about this one is that you've got, as with many Nike kits and other kits, the pattern, there's a degree of randomness in the pattern. It's cut from a big sheet of material, and therefore there's the waves are random, which is nice. That for a pattern like that, which should be standard, but it's to help reduce waste in the process, and that's good. So that's the Liverpool shirt. I think I'll stick it here. I do like it a lot. I've maybe sounded a bit more negative than other shirts. Obviously, being a Liverpool fan as well, I've kind of got more vested interest in this than others. I like the look of, again, seeing that Nike's construction. This looks good to me. I kind of like the look of that area of the shirt. What do you guys think? Thomas says, I like it. It makes you feel dizzy though. Indeed, it definitely does. The back, sorry guys, makes no sense, says Cole. John Carr says that Liverpool kit is going to trigger epileptic fits. I think it should definitely come with some sort of warning. And Seb says love the front. Sorry guys, honestly that can of Coke has done me in. I need to drink something much more. I should just be drinking water, to be honest. Seb says love the front, hate the back. You know what guys, let's end it on that. I think it makes sense to end on a big team there. We will pick up with Glentoran on Thursday, and on Thursday we're going to be streaming for at least a couple of hours. I'm pretty sure, I'll give us a quick preview of what's to come. Leon there, we've got Spurs, that'll be interesting. Sampdoria, Leeds, we talked about Leeds, we'll get to them definitely on Thursday. What else is to come? Again, bit of a sneak preview, but we've got Venezia's away. Oh no, we ranked that, didn't we? We did rank that. We ranked that. I believe in the candle, or maybe we didn't actually rank it. We'll come to that in a bit. I'll have to have a look through. There's that pattern again for Dusseldorf, looking pretty good with Adidas. So yeah, there's a few shirts to come. Got United's away. All the shirts that have been released in the last week, basically, will be on the hot wall there. But there we go. Just to recap as well, highlights. We had Inter and Stuttgart. So 2 volcano entries tonight. Both a bit nostalgic. One in the 90s, one of the noughties. But 2 great efforts from Nike and Jako. Guys, I want to say thank you for tuning in. Of course, we were a bit late today, and there's a few issues, but thank you. It's been great. It's been it's always good to get your thoughts. It's been a lively chat tonight. So thank you to you. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And there's an unboxing video, which I'm really excited. I'm really proud of the new look. I think it looks really good. So that's coming up this week, hopefully. So check out that on the channel. Other than that, any final questions, fire them in as we close. But thanks so much for watching. Thanks for your continual support of the channel. And make sure you stay safe in the heat. Try not to, as much as you can. Stay. I was just, Seb, you took the words out of my mouth. Stay hydrated. Exactly. Stay hydrated. Thank you, Seb, and Thomas, and others. John Carr says, have you seen the leaked Revolution Away kit? It's white, but that's an interesting take on the sash. I haven't, John Carr. I'll have to check that one out after the stream. If you're liking it as a white shirt, then they must have something about it. That's cool, man. That's cool. Carl says, don't think they'll feature on FSC, but what do you make of what portable FC I do with their kits? Maybe a bit wild for some. I love them all personally. Honestly, they look really good. Yeah, seeing the portable stuff, they've really done a great job. And maybe one potential. I know we're keeping stuff just from football shirt culture on the wall, but I wouldn't be against adding a few notable kits that maybe aren't on there, but could come on as extra subs. Maybe later in the year when it slows down a bit with releases, we could look at something like that for sure. And quick bit of extra news as we close. I think I said this before, but I've actually had some I've commissioned basically some music for the channel. So I've got a couple of new tracks which are going to be kind of backing tracks. for the stream. So just quiet stuff in the background just to help add a bit of noise. And yeah, so that's really cool. I'm really happy with those. Some nice chill, a couple of nice chill tracks. Yeah, so that's going to be coming in soon. John Custis didn't say I liked it. It's just a new patch, indeed. That's that. Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yeah, I do miss the old Revs badge. That's for sure. Guys, thanks again. It's been a blast as always. I will see some of you hopefully on Thursday. If not, I'll be chatting to you on Twitter, I'm sure. Yeah, have a good evening. Take care, and see you very soon.